Hello, welcome back. My name is Jackie. This is Dream Ether. I wanted to come on. It seems like I have so much material already prepared for myself, so I was guided to, just go with the flow. And today I am talking about a book that I recently read a couple of years back that kind of started me off on this journey that I am on currently. So I wanted to share it with you. The book is called Wild Witch, and it's if you're somebody who's always been super connected with Mother Nature, with the sunrise, the sunsets, the trees, the wind, the rivers, the oceans, the birds, like literally the flowers, the plants, and everything else. And you feel very connected to something stronger, nature spirits, fairies, the elements like earth, air, fire, water, and spirit or ether. These are the types of things that I enjoy. There is a lot to be unfolded within these things that our society has deemed evil or just hasn't given them good omens, so it has made our society kind of actually be more disconnected to themselves. Even with the things that we get, with the sun. The sun actually is the harbinger of human evolution in consciousness. So there's a lot of things that I like to dive into that are kind of occult, mystical, and spiritual, that have bad omens attached most of the time, that I like to break the paradigm behind. So just felt really called to mention that. All right, so magic is an ancient aspect of our heritage. Magic is the art of causing changes in consciousness according to the will. And that's a quote from Dion Fortune. I don't know how exactly she pronounces that. I think that's a female. I want to say I can see her, she's got blonde hair in my head, but I could be wrong. Either way, magic is an ancient aspect of our heritage, of human heritage. This is how we have always communed in our ancient past, is with the cycles of the sun, the cycles of the moon. I mean, as farmers and cultivators of the land, we had to be very much aware of how those things worked and interacted with us, and not only us, with the creatures on Earth as well. Okay, so and also being Dream Ether, this is Dream Ether, right? So here we talk about taking our power back, taking our mind, our human mind that has been hardwired with conditioning and indoctrinated with whatever things that our society has been doing for so long. So taking the power back of understanding how our mind works, and then also connecting it to our heart, our spirituality, because we are both human and we are spirit as well. We'll let this it sounds like a military helicopter, which is something I've found pretty recent activity around here lately. But yep, definitely was. Anyhow, something that they definitely don't like people talking about is the power of the human mind, because then you start to understand things like the media, and you start to understand things like the the FDA and the government, and just all of the nasty shit that's going on the planet. And if you're watching this, I already know that you're somebody who is on the same wavelength as that, because I have that intention to connect with like-minded, heart and soul-aligned individuals who are on this planet to show the fuck up, to be the fucking light in the middle of the darkness, right? Because that's what it is. This is what we came here for, and this is the time. If you haven't already figured that out, hello. Hello. Hi. You've been here for a long time. This isn't your first fucking day. Okay? So, Put on your fucking panties. There's a reason why you're drawn to things of the past. There's a reason why, man, I always, like Merlin or whatever it is for you, dragons and fairies or ancient civilizations. If for me, it's all of it, but because I really feel tied to everything. So with that aside, for you, you'll know what it is. You could be like, man, I really feel like I was a Native American in past life, or you really could be called to like having a super, really similar, lifestyle as them. Like for me personally, I would love to just live in a fucking teepee or a mud hut or something that I made from the land. They even have something called the Earth Ship, which is basically recycling the things that most people throw away that just end up in the landfill and creating a sustainable home for you right here on Earth that doesn't have any, it's like no waste. It's the epitome of no waste because it's like taking waste. It's like literally building something, trash to treasure, the lead to gold. And that is exactly what we do here on Dream Ether, is we alchemize our pain into power. Anyways, all right, so nature has the answers. She is our mother, for like everything in the visible universe, we are always parts of one another. We are the stuff of stars, our atoms which have taken in with, hold on. We are the stuff of stars, our atoms which have taken in with our food are the same atoms which come out of the creation of worlds. And we already know that to be scientifically true. And every single like origin story confirms that as well. Like I want to say everyone. I mean, even like Satanism, like, right? Because he's like the morning star, right? Like, I mean, I'm just seriously though. Sisters, misters, masters. Think about it. Okay. So the same atoms which came out of the creation of worlds. Every tree, every plant, animal, jewel, and other person shares this ancient heritage. Nature equals mistress of arcane alchemy. Nature equals mistress of arcane alchemy. That's giving me like divine feminine, which, I mean, fuck. The planet's ability to heal us, I think, is kind of a lot tied to the whole, the whole dampening and ostracizing of the divine feminine from the whole fucking patriarch of the way the world has been for a couple thousand years now, right? I mean, we won't go into that. All right, so look back through your life, noting the successes and failures from the earliest moments in your memory to yesterday. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can look forward to in this book, but also these are some questions that I found really important. And I'm being asked to look at these again for a reason, right? Because I always follow my gut, and this book has just, I've been wanting to share a lot of different things, and so I've really been praying a lot and asking for the guidance, and every time that I follow my gut and just go with the flow, I'm always led in the right direction, and I always find that it's exactly what needs to be shared. So right now, you have been called, because I have been as well, and how this energy exchange works really, and with everything, is when you really give your attention to something, like watching this video with your full intention. I don't need your full intention, but the more that you can do that, the more that you can catch how synchronistic certain things are, right? Like for instance, right now I have several crystals laid out on my desk, right? So selenite, I'm gonna go with this. Maybe you've been called to get selenite. Maybe you've recently been seeing a lot of things about selenite, and as a light worker, this is one of my very most suggested crystals to own. I place it above my door and every single window seal, and it's really good if you want to put it at the foot of your bed. I put it in front of a TV, and it does keep that negativity around. But honestly, every single corner of my bedroom an entrance has a selenite wand above it, because what it does and creates for me is this complete like cave of cleansed positive energy, if anything that comes through my space, including myself. Okay, so there's that. And so, that might be a synchronicity for you. I also have some amethyst here. And if you're somebody who maybe you like amethyst, or maybe even you are going through an addiction right now, because that's coming up for me as well, amethyst can be a really good stone for you to use for, it's called the sober stone. It really connects you to your soul. There's different, all of these are different kinds of amethyst that I have. Those were all crystal points, and then they have, different features. Like this one here has like a kind of like an angelic, like crystal glare in it. And I was told this is amethyst, but it might be something else with an A. So I'm still looking into it. But either way, purple stones, or maybe like those will be synchronicities for you, and that's how you will know that there's a message for you. I also have here some tiger's eye. Maybe you guys have been being called to use tiger's eye as well. Okay, these are just some synchronicities. Maybe you like giraffes. Maybe giraffes are, have always been something that calls to you. Whatever it is, something I say will definitely resonate with you to help you get, the message that you need here. So take a look at through your life, noting the successes and the failures from your earliest moments in your memory into yesterday. Okay, early ambitions, aims in life, and see what you have made of them. How many of those things you really enjoyed as a child have long been put aside? Okay, so this is something, I remember when I was going through this, okay, because I wrote this, I think it's almost about 3 years ago, right now, actually. I was visiting a friend in Chicago. He needed a biopsy done, and so I went and flew in to be his caretaker. Long story short, on the plane, I was reading this book. It was the first time I had taken a plane or even seen the Great Lakes, or even that much water in my entire life. And it, definitely changed me a lot, seeing that as well. Side note. Okay, so maybe you're being called to, be near water, or, be near water. Water can be very healing and cleansing, and especially near the ocean, especially with what's going on right now. So the ocean actually is a healing frequency. It relates to the human heart. So that's why people always feel really calm and stuff at the beach. Not only that, it's very cleansing as well. It's like something called piezoelectricity with the sand, and it being kind of crystals, and even with the conductivity of the water and yourself, and just everything, that it is super, 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 super good for the human body. Okay. So, those may be things you've also enjoyed as a child. Going to the beach, having fun, pretending you were a mermaid. I didn't really get to go to the beach because I grew up in Arizona, and we were always just at the swimming pool, and it was sweltering hot all fucking day, and you never got out of the pool, so I was a fish in the desert here. Like, I lived in that water, and I had a mermaid life. My sister and I played mermaids so much growing up. Sorry, sis. Anyways, I had a very, very active imagination. If it wasn't playing mermaids, I was playing Barbies. Anyway, these are things that I enjoyed playing because they were, I don't know, maybe I was trying to escape a lot of things that I didn't understand as a child. I think that can be for sure said. Um, but just really try to get back to the roots within yourself. What you enjoyed as a child. Like I remember, this is what I enjoyed as a child. Literally, I used to read out loud like I was having school, like class. I used to sit there and read like I was teaching people, and that's kind of interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. I had that epiphany this morning, and then I totally forgot about it, and now, with just going with my gut, I'm even learning something while I'm teaching you something. This is what I love. Okay. Okay, so how much joy from those simple pleasures might you enjoy if you took them up now? Thank you, Spirit. And something else that I enjoyed making as a kid was crafts, like arts and fucking crafts. Okay, so like I do that now. I make first of all, I don't just like to go to the fucking like arts and crafts store, no hate, but like I use what Mother Earth gives me. I just call them her gifts, okay? So, like for instance, I guess I could just show you some things. Okay, so like I made this from dried flowers, and these are from my chickens. You know what I mean? Like I just really like to craft and make things with Mother Nature, and what she gives me, and I've always been that way. So even these feathers, even these earrings, I've made these earrings. These were the first prototype that I had, but it's Monday, and I was, being silly, and it was like, what should I wear on Monday? And it was like pearls to connect with the moon. So I did. And I added these white feathers today, and I can take them off and on and add them to any pair of earrings that I like. But, really just using Mother Earth's gifts and giving it new life. Like I had a really hard time with watching. I was working at a country club last couple years ago, and we had like hundreds and hundreds of flowers. First of all, we had like probably 100 tables, and each table had a bouquet of flowers, so it started with the carnations, and it started with Easter. So it was like for Valentine's Day, I got thousands of carnations, and I started drying them. First of all, it took me a while. You have to hang every single of them up. I have footage of the thousands and thousands of carnations that I had all over my room. And, I made like flower baths, and I made, a lot of dream catchers and sacred bundles and infusions and things like that. I was like, how can we just be throwing away all of this flowers? And so, things like that. I'm really into taking what people are fucking throwing away. Like even when I was working in Maui this summer, and we would be in the garden, and there would be like literally like oregano all the way up to my fucking chest, and I'm like, how are we throwing this away? I'm like, no, I refuse to. So I'm like bundling it all up and like trying to find different ways to use the oregano, and at what quality, and all of these things, and just really getting into Mother Nature and how much of her we can actually use to our benefit and get rid of a lot of this chemical shit that that has been pushed in our face. Honestly, we've been stripped of the knowledge of this stuff, and then they're just like, here, this is the only way to clean your house. It's a terrible chemical that'll probably give you cancer, but no, it's the sun that gives you cancer. Sorry. Anyway, so just really paying attention to the things that gave you passion as a kid, and connect with that. I've done a lot of inner child healing, and I know that my inner child is so, so, so happy and feels so safe within me. And I'm so, so, so happy that I have been able to reparent myself, because it took a lot of things for me to realize that, regardless of whatever I've been in and been through in my life, that it was up to me to really ultimately give myself the love that I was seeking. And now I can attract the things into my life that are on that same frequency, and they don't come from a place of lack, and they don't come from a place of ego, and they don't come from a place of ill will. So now this is the other part of it. Are you still influenced by your family's attitudes, their ideas, and their standards? Because that takes a lot, you know, depending on what kind of background and family you come from. A lot of my family is LDS on my dad's side of the family, and on my mom's side of the family, it is like Southern Baptist, you know. And then on my biological father's side of the family and my ancestral lineage on that side, it's like Jewish and like Spanish Jew, you know. And so it's like this whole thing that, you know, it's pretty wild. So, you know, and also part of this journey is getting, you know, I found it very intriguing to go deep within my lineages, or also and step with and realize that you don't actually have to have that direct connection to certain, you know, bloodlines within this, you know, incarnation, because like genetically or whatever. But if you go back like hundreds of thousands of years, which I believe that we have, our souls have definitely been around, at least mine in particular, and whoever is watching this video, you resonate with being an old soul. So you're aware, you know, whether this is your 700th time here or whether this is your 1100th time here. You know, it's like, and even bigger than that, because like I kind of I believe that my own soul is billions of years old, but that's kind of a, I think, kind of a rarity, and I don't say that to be any sort of way, because I don't, that's not even who I am. So but I know this like personally, to resonate for me, you know. Like I can physically, I feel like I know I was there when the Big Bang, you know, kind of thing. Like shit, when the earth was created, I remember when it was a baby. Okay. Okay, and that is why I have such a deep connection with Mother Earth and her creatures. Is like they recognize me, and that was alarming for me growing up, because I've always talked to animals. I've always talked to squirrels and birds, and literally talked to them, and plants and trees. And I hug trees all the time, and, you know, to the water. I talk to the water. I talk to the fucking air, the wind, the sun, you know. And so this is something that's very innate, and you may have the same feelings, because that is kind of a lot of what it means to be a starseed. A lot of us have been here billions of years, you know, like it's pretty deep. Okay. And, you know, I'm just gonna say that. So now the second part of that question was, or have you developed your own ethical codes? Have your aims changed? What start, hang on. Okay, what started your current interest in magic? What are you going to do about it? Do you enjoy gardening, walking in the country? Do you see trees and plants as living beings versus rather nice lumps in the landscape? How do you feel about herbs and flowers? Do you see them as living and healing entities with great power to restore your zest for living? Dude, what did I just say? I don't like fucking like prepare for these things. Like I don't sit here and like rehearse anything, by the way. So this is all coming, flowing, channeling. This is like legit channeling. This is how this works, you guys, in real life, and I'm like fucking doing it right now. How do you feel about herbs and flowers? Do you see them as living and healing entities with the great power to restore your zest for living? How do you feel about animals? Pleasure or profit? And what are your views on, what is that? I think that says vegetarianism diet, wearing fur coats, or modern farming techniques and sports. Okay, so those are some things, you know, that I think you should think about. And you know, these are the kind of the things that we're all being called to think about right now. We're all being called to really connect with our inner child, because the only way that this planet is going to heal is when each of us realizes that we have to take that power back within ourselves. And it doesn't have to be a hard road, you know. Just bringing things into the realm of your mind to be thought about creates time. Okay, it creates space. Okay, and what does space and time do? It heals. So the more that you can go into a safe space in your mind, and if you have to use a therapist, I suggest doing that. Or if you are on your own spiritual journey, because a lot of the knowledge that I've obtained has come from a lot of my own personal experiences and a lot of my own personal research about understanding the human mind, psyche, spirituality, healing, all of those things. You can get to your golden road in this lifetime. Okay? Um, it's possible. All right, so some more questions to ponder are, how do you personally respond to okay, so this actually changed my whole shit, right? Because I wrote this book, I started to write this journal. I read the book, but I didn't I read the book so quick that I actually didn't have time to journal it, and then I was like, it fucking changed a lot of things for me instantly. But I wrote these questions down and I started to think about them, and I was like, whoa. And then I went and I started using this, and just wait for the synchronicity on this. It's gonna be crazy. So anyways, this was about, so what was that, like 22? Yeah, it was April 22 when I went and visited my friend in Chicago for this trip, when I started that book on the plane. Okay. um so from then until now, today is April, what, 15th? I'm gonna have to look back, but I honestly might even be today, which is kind of weird. It's not weird. I don't believe in I don't believe in coincidences. These are just more confirmations and synchronicities. Okay, these are what gives you your intuition to follow. You know, uh, certain things, when things come up for you a lot. You follow that, and then it's crazy how things start to unfold. It doesn't make any damn sense, but they do. So, how do you personally respond to the tides of the sea or any tidal river? Okay. It took me from that point until then, until about last year when I went to Maui for the summer, and I didn't understand still the tides. This was like, I'm like, how don't I understand how tides work? Like, anyways, and also, are you aware of the phases of the moon? And it's like, yeah, I'm aware of the phases of the moon, but everything changed in my life when I went to Maui last year, and I started paying attention to like the phases of the moon, like the solstices, the equinox, like all of this stuff. I just kind of like, it was like I jumped portals, and it was like my heart came online. All of a sudden, all this energy came back, and I'm like, what the fuck is this world that we're living in? You know? Okay, so and also paying attention to how they pattern your dreamscapes. So are you having, so maybe these are things that you or yourself are being called to, because these also have to do with things like the seasons of our life, which I got very into after reading this book. Like knowing your seasons, right? So like in the wintertime, when we're supposed to be in winter, our society likes to throw a new year in on January 1st, when in the cycles of the like nature and life, that's not a prosperous time to be making goals. We're supposed to be going within, healing, purging, and nurturing, and then coming out in the spring ready to rise like the fucking starry little fucking flowers and birds, and make love and do all the things. Like that's why the astrological new year is actually in Aries, which was last month almost, around, it was actually on, it's always on the spring equinox, which was last month this year, which is in March. Usually it's in April, but there's some leap years and some Jewish leap years and things like that. So that's kind of why, like this year, Easter and like Passover and things were kind of swappy, I feel like. Anyways, so paying attention to the dreams that you're having around the full moons, around the new moons, and even getting into knowing how those moon cycles work. Like, what is a new moon? New moons, full moons, and all of that. I'm still learning a lot about those myself. but I love to be aware of what's going on with those moons. And, I'm very patient. You have to be very patient with yourself and not expect certain outcomes. Like, you just have to let go, surrender, and just follow your heart and do what feels good. Okay, so if you're not feeling good because you're like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing and because it's a full moon and blah 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 blah, that's definitely not. No. Let go, 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 let go. Whatever you think it is that you need to be doing on any certain time at any certain date, there's no need to have any fear about any of it. It's all supposed to be enjoyable, exploratory, and these emotions that we feel on Earth, they are our navigation system. They literally are the map to our life. Whatever things are bothering you, whatever ailments, insomnia, certain cancers that come up, energy that has nowhere to go will manifest itself in ways of things like things in your body, pains in your back, certain reactions to things, or this is kind of how we get these villain types too, because ultimately a lot of these people who become those villains or whatever, their original goal started out very from a heart place, and then they get like drugged down from life. So these are all things to pay to understand. Do you enjoy being out in sunlight and in the rain? The sun gives us vitality. It gives us like codes that awaken dormant DNA. And it's in its we're in the sun's 25th solar maximum right now, which we've been experiencing some pretty heavy solar storms, some geomagnetic storms, some super high M class, KP index type in stuff that's happening with the sun, and it's all Earth direct, which people don't understand. One, can have an effect on our communications, but two, has an effect when we consciously are aware and connect to that, to help awaken these dormant codes that lie within some of us. I think all of us have these codes. We all have them, but it's at what degree and what level and what willingness you have. And, this has obviously always been about free will. So the tools that we've been, given in the past haven't really provided us with the best options of our will. And that is how they've had us trapped. So that is what I try to share with people is, the light in these subjects. Which season do you prefer and which do you like least? So knowing your seasons, knowing, where you feel vibrant and knowing your seasons. That means taking a lot of time to figure that out for yourself, being comfortable. I had to really sit with myself this last winter because I'm used to the way that, the society that we live in the United States especially, that has been very masculine driven, meaning we've got to have continual drive, go, with no rest, feeling and not feeling like we are able to rest. So a lot of us people have grown up in these households where it's like, if we don't even feel comfortable when we're resting, when it really is robbing us of our every ability to actually re-energize ourselves and nourish ourselves, when we give ourselves that ability, when we consciously allow ourselves without judgment the moments of relaxation, even if it's just 5 minutes, it's super powerful. But there again, you have to get past your programmings that has not allowed you to relax and allowed you to feel like you can relax, but I'm here to tell you, we're in that era now where it is mandatory for you to feel comfortable and satiated within yourself, especially if anything is going to change here for anybody. We all have to be the ones to be the example for what it is that we want to see in the world. So I choose to focus on the positive, and I choose to focus on the healing within, and I choose to focus on the reality as well, which is that the core of our problems is realizing our power, taking it back, and infusing it with love, understanding, and unconditional love. I think it could take us as a society maybe 10 years to collectively heal, literally the straight up, I don't even think it'd take that long. I think if everyone had the awareness, even those that are, I don't know, I don't know. I really think that this world has so much potential to heal so quickly, especially with everything that we're aware of now. If we allow ourselves to get out of what the people of the past have tried to keep us stuck in, and the people of the present, but the people of the present are peopling of the past. So, side note. Anyways, so what am I doing in my life through thoughtless carelessness or ignorance that I might have far-reaching consequences for the world, my children, or those in distant lands? See? Exactly. Exactly, dude. So how if people could understand how their thoughtless carelessness or ignorance is really affecting the future of humanity, because every now moment is an opportunity to intend something much better for yourself, because everything that you do now creates your future. So every thought that we have now is creating the future. So any thought that you have of lack mentality for yourself is creating and instilling that in your children. I don't know if you're meant or ready to hear that, but these are things that we have to get a grip of. Okay, it's time to fucking put our fucking pants together, fucking learn how to sew them up, because it's not fucking hard. You don't need to go out and buy somebody else's fucking jeans. Hello. What are we doing? What are we doing? Literally, what the fuck are we doing? If the world were to stop tomorrow, God forbid, which I know he will, but what the fuck would you do? Your social media, your, attachment to needing other people around you, your attachment to needing other people's validity of your fucking strawberry fucking soda or your fucking tuna sandwich, what the fuck are you doing? Or the size of your fucking, goddamn, whatever the fuck, the goddamn car you drive. None of that matters. What that is doing is actually the flow of human evolution is going two ways, okay? If you want to keep going on that fucking road, dude, cool. You'll be here. But we're going up. And if you're somebody who's watching this channel, maybe you needed to hear that. Because you need to start really fucking thinking right. It's not a joke anymore. It's not a fucking joke anymore. We have so much potential to have so much beauty on this planet, but we're just fucking if I had the money, if the money was mine, which I will have, this world will not be this way. I don't care what country you're in, how much it costs, what power it's taking from me over them. What the fuck? If I was fucking someone like Oprah or any of these people, fucking Zuckerberg building a fucking commune down there, who the fuck knows what he's even trying to do with that shit? But anyways, it's I would be rushing into those child trafficking fucking, rings, and I would be exposing, I would be doing the fucking damn thing, okay? Because, look at, is it Yanomi Park or whoever, that beautiful woman that was lied to way more than in a much darker way, but in no difference than what we are being lied to here. And she has clearly said that herself when she's gone to our colleges and heard some of the things that she's heard from our own professors teaching about some of the things that she is no, that's not the way that this world works. Come on, you guys. Wake the fuck up. Who gives a fuck what kind of Nikes you have? Who fucking cares? Do you even know who Nike is? Do you know who the original Nike is? No, you probably have no idea who the god Nike is. And it's because your religions have tried to tell you that even knowing about who other gods and goddesses are and what their storyline was, what their essence was, which is really what the essence of everything is the story behind that. Not the, just because people know about certain gods and goddesses doesn't mean that it's evil. These are ways that our humanity and other higher dimensional entities have survived on this planet for a long time. And the elites, the powers that be, the archons, whatever you want to call them, have led you to believe and has ostracized you from these connections, like learning to interpret the sun's circling movements and how our personal energy and its light, his light, sweeps across the other's planets, enhancing and encouraging the varying aspects of each of our individual natures. Adjusting to the actual seasons, growing and sowing and reaping and cleansing tides that change our ways of thinking inwardly and outwardly. That's connection to the cycles of the moon, and how every single freaking day and how every single different cycle of the moon is helping us to reflect, release, and cleanse. I mean, these are beautiful things that have been, made to look like we were worshiping the fucking ocean, or we were worshiping the sun, or we were worshiping this deity, or whatever. It's fucking bullshit. No, it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Also need to look into human nature, how people reflect the designs of the eternal, okay, like sacred geometry, Metatron's cube, Merkabah's, the flower of life, the Fibonacci, the sacred ratio, how individuals work with or against the tides of the world, okay? Aspects of the real world, its herbs and healing plants, the powers of crystals, gems, and rocks. These are all things that literally fell into my lap after reading this book. You would have no idea how crazy this gets, but these are things that I know other people are being ushered into doing right now. The sirens are going, and this is a sign for me personally. Anytime something I'm speaking about that is like on fucking fire, it's fierce, it's going, keep going, sirens go off. That's a confirmation for me, and that could be confirmation for you. These are things that you need to pay attention to, because once you start tapping into the subtleties around you, you will notice how often when you're thinking something that your guides are going to tell you, when you ask your guides, give me clear signs. I want to know, give me a clear sign for, yes, this is a great thing I'm doing. And then you'll hear a sign. You must trust that sign initially. And then now every time that you hear that siren, pay attention to what you were thinking about in that moment. That will be a confirmation for you. These are ways that you can use a train horn, another thing for me, or hearing the escalating of a motorcycle or a car driving by. Like, these are all signs of movement. Alarm, sirens, like catching the train, these are all things that seem super metaphorical, but they aren't, and they are. You have to figure that out. The energies of ley lines, okay, and you can detect the energy of ley lines by dowsing, which I totally forgot about, because I've actually been called to ley lines, and that's something else that's really crazy, because I've never been to Illinois before, but there's something about Illinois, ancient Egypt, that I'm connected to, and some of the big mounds out there. There's giant mounds out there. A lot of that stuff has been calling to me, and I knew there was a reason why I went to Chicago, but I don't exactly know entirely, but I think it's something to do with my bloodline, the energy that comes within me, and that it needed to be healed there. Because I kind of feel like my energy sometimes is like this selenite wand, It allows things to be cleansed. In the beginning, it allowed things to just be cleansed around me. It was almost like people really got to take advantage of my energy. But now my energy is more like a mirror. But behind that mirror is the biggest, brightest selenite. You know what I mean? It's like this, and it's like a hug during the hardest, darkest nights, but it takes you realizing, not being scared of it, to realize that the true power behind it, which can be hard for me, because I've really, after coming home from Maui, my energy, like, I felt like my energy kicked like my energy turned into a mirror right away. It was like nobody could, not only could nobody lie around me, nobody could fucking harm me, and people were pissed about it, and people tried to come at me. I mean, the shit that I went through on Maui is going to be a whole other fucking thing over here. But what it showed me was my power in some pretty deadly, serious, pretty fucking deadly incidences, like more than one. So many fucking things happen there. It's not even funny, but I was in such a good place within myself. I felt at home, and I felt like I was clearing the energies out of that fucking island that needed to be cleared out. Honestly, straight the fuck up. Straight the fuck up. And it was really weird for me too, because there was like something crazy that happened on the farm that I went and stayed at that shouldn't have happened with one of the girls. And she was and him had this night that should have never happened, and it was not good. And things came out, and things we figured out, and you know, the potential sexual children things that had been going on there, you know, prior to, and that were intending to happen after we left. We put a stop to, like, me and 5 other girls in the middle of the night, you know, escaped this farm, and then it felt like we were being watched. Coconut wireless is a real ass thing, and I know that I'm protected. I know that Maui, the island itself, was protecting me. And you know, it came to a point where I got stranded on the island. So we escaped the farm. Then there was a moment where I found out, like, it felt like, you know, we stopped posting things on our social media, because we knew that people on the island know, you know, every cove, every bay, and every gully. So that it was like we couldn't really share what was going on our experience anymore. You know, it had been 2 months since I had been on Maui, and then all of a sudden this shit happened. We escaped the farm, we go to a safe farm. I feel like we're being followed. You know, we are being followed. There's people on other islands contacting me to zip my lips and shit that don't even know, talking about coconut wireless. Shit got crazy. You know, the guy's farm, we ended up shutting him down. His mother ended up dying. There was like a whole there's a murder involved. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit that went on the whole time that I was on Maui. And then all of a sudden I lost my phone, my wallet, and any way of having any connection. And I got stranded in Hana during a hurricane with no phone, no food, no nothing, in a house that was gutted out. Gorgeous home, but there was just like nothing there. It was nothing. It was just me and the elements. And, you know, with a lot of fucking things going on at that time, that's giving you like a fucking baby crumb of how this shit went down when I was in Maui. But so for like 2 weeks, you know, the other couple of girls, two of the girls got sent home via the police, like, immediately. The other 2 girls, we went our separate ways, because those bitches were fucking losing their goddamn mind. And I felt like it had to do with my energy, because I knew what I came there to do was find my fucking power. And all I seemed to do was fucking show people who the fuck they were themselves. And it was hard, because I had to go through people purging their fucking shadows on me, and I'm just like in the jungle on my knees, like crying, like, God please, you know, just show me like what I need to do, and I will be your vessel for work. I will be your tool for good. Please, like, help me get through this. And I found the courage that day to leave the situation that I was in. You know, like, walked, you know, 9 miles in Hana, you know, with 0, like, people who I knew at all. I just, you know, I trusted a lot of people. Thank God that I continued to trust in the good within them, even in the dark times. You know, I ended up hitchhiking somebody, back into city, because Hana, there's no life there. There's so much life. There's so much life that I want to be in Hana. That's where I would love to live. But as far as like getting a phone call or anything like that, like, it was dangerous as fuck. I'm walking on Hana Highway in Hana, like, Bay, in like the little town, the village of Hana, and I'm like walking, okay? The road has barely enough room for one car. All right, you guys, like, I am on a fucking mission. That trip changed my whole life, and I still haven't shared any of it with people, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, so I went there because I wanted to learn how to connect with the planet, with Mother Earth, how to grow and how to survive and how to supply some nutrients back into her, because all we do is take. So, with all that being said, I'm gonna end with, this is funny because this is kind of what started my business that I'm starting as well, is herbalism. Study pictures and intuitively match them with the power of virtues of every medicinal plant, tree, or flower, knowing for certain you have the right one. This has changed my life. So yeah, that was just a little bit of a gem from me that needed to be shared to you, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took something from it, and I if you liked the video, please help to share the message of what I'm trying to share with other people. Help me build my page. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for fame. I do this to really help people who need it the most, and I know that it will, because that is my intention, and that is what, my truest heart's highest desire is to really heal and help be an example, because I know you can't just be somebody who's like here to help, other people. I mean, you can. I don't I don't mean to say it like that. When somebody has experienced something that you've experienced, I came to the awareness of this during my own like addiction and going to programs, AA and Co-Anonymous and things like that, that I realized that the authenticity of somebody's story becomes so much more unauthentic when you realize, holy shit, that person went through that too. And then when you can be somebody who's like taken that story and flipped it, and then that person can look at you and be like, wow, that person was like that, I am like that, that means that there's hope for me too. That's all I fucking want. So thank you. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day.